Here we go, coming at you, episode number 60, uploaded as we get a little bit closer to Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks weekend coming your way. Got about 11 days till we get down to business, and here is episode number 60. All right, today we're going to talk about something really important. It's all about the pace of the race and the Kentucky Derby speed and how it's always so dangerous, and how we can kind of get out ahead of the pace scenario, right? And try to determine exactly what horses and riders are going to commit. All right, we already know one thing. We've heard from Michael Earl Smith that Rodriguez is going to go. And so the question is, how are they going to be able to go with him? Who's going to go with him? And then what happens when they all get there, right? That's another big question. So take a look at our top 5 Derby pace setters. These are the horses that I believe at first call are going to be right there in one fashion or another. And here's what I mean. Top 5 Derby pace setters. Number 1 is Rodriguez. I don't care if he gets post position number 20. I think Mike's going to work super hard to get out on top. And if he can't from that spot, he's still going to cause some problems because he'll force other horses to his inside to go that may not want necessarily to go. Owen Almighty, I think the horse has the kind of natural speed where they want to go. Admire Daytona is very interesting because this horse is not North American speed, right? European, Japanese speed, where they don't necessarily go as fast as we do here in North America. So it's been kind of interesting to watch the horse work out. Admire Daytona had a workout the other day, and he just kind of easy breezy, right? Just moving along and not running like as quickly as Rodriguez did in his workout. And so we kind of have to get used to the training style that is different for the horses that are running in Japan as opposed to horses running here in North America. So we have to understand that that's just the way that they train the horse. Doesn't mean the horse is not quick. Doesn't mean the horse is not ready. Doesn't mean the horse won't get out on top on Derby Day. Just a different training style we have to understand. As I go back to Owen Almighty, he's looked just fine, and it's a horse that I think they've recommitted to getting that horse out on the front end. And then the other 2 horses that are your pace setters are questionable because East Avenue is a horse that has early speed, but probably does not want to be out there just going crazy on the front end. They want to sit just off of Rodriguez and probably Owen Almighty and Admire Daytona. And then they're trying to be in more of a stalker position, but I still think they're going to have to commit to stay close to that field. And then there's Citizen Bull, the other runner for Hall of Fame trainer Bob Baffert, who, when he puts speed into the horse, he puts real speed into the horse. Now, he's already put a lot of speed into this horse. And now they're trying to get this horse to rate. They've taken the blinkers off, and the horse has responded in the workouts. I have to admit, in my opinion, I'm not convinced he'll be able to do that race day. Now, obviously, Bob knows his horse way better than I do, and Martin Garcia, the jockey, knows his horse way better than I do. But I just feel like this horse has been running on the front end so often that I think he just loves the competition of being out there on the front end. You saw the way he just absolutely refused to be passed in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And you saw in a couple of the first Derby preps how he just immediately went out there on the front end and dictated the fractions. When he hasn't been allowed, Citizen Bull, to get that lead, he's not as dangerous. Once again, Bob's a Hall of Fame trainer. He knows what he's doing. But I just don't believe that the horse is going to respond to the blinkers off, and I think he's going to be up there with those speed runners early on. So if you can identify what you believe to be speed, and just like in any other race that you handicap, now you have to start putting the human element into place. And here's what I mean. When you handicap a regular race, right, just a regular old maiden race or a claiming race or any kind of a conditioned allowance, a stakes race, anything, you always identify speed. But then you also have to understand the rider, right? Like if you are in a race and you see a couple of horses and you see Luis Saez on one of the speed horses, like a legitimate speed horse, and you see Irad Ortiz Jr. on the other legitimate speed horse, I guarantee you, Irad is not going to outbreak Luis Saez. He's an awesome rider. Love Irad. That dude's incredible. But I just think certain riders have a little something different. You're not going to outbreak him. Here's the reason why Martin Garcia, the jockey who used to be a short order cook in the Bay Area, here's the reason why Martin Garcia has now earned like $20 million riding for Bob Baffert. Number 1, he follows instructions to a T. right? And then number two, he's really good at getting out of the gate on top. So you have to start to consider the riders, what they're going to do, right? If they're aggressive, like if Paco Lopez had a mount in the Kentucky Derby, you know Paco's going to try to get to the front end. He might try and cause some other trouble too, but he's going to try to get out there on top, right? And so that's why it was so interesting to see Johnny V do what he did with Authentic and Medina Spirit, because he was really slick about it. Like he kind of eased his way. He realized that other riders didn't want to go, so he's like, let me go get this. That's the kind of experience that you want in the Kentucky Derby. That's the kind of rider you want on that speed horse, all right? So now we start taking a look at what's happening with our official Kentucky Derby leaderboard, where they sit as we move in, 11 days until Kentucky Derby. You see your point earners there, and you see the green mark next to horses I believe will be involved. Even though Cole Battle is not necessarily going to be a pace setter, I don't think he's going to be comfortable stalking. He'll be in that stalking position, but he'll be like a reluctant stalker, if that makes any sense. So that's why the green mark is still next to him, all right? Taking a look at your second page, we took that green mark away from Citizen Bull, but we're probably going to reconsider and put it back. Owen Almighty has to go. East Avenue has to go. American Promise? He's also kind of like Cole Battle, where I'm not quite sure if he wants to be a part of that pace or if he can actually stalk. It's one thing to ask them to do that. It's another thing for the horse to be like, yeah, I agree. Let's chill. I don't know if they can. We know Admire Daytona is a front-running horse. We just don't know if he's quick enough to do any damage compared to our North American speed. Madaket Road is out. Built, they're still trying to decide. Now, they have two horses. The connections have Built, and they also have Journalism. And I think they're probably trying to hold on to the hopes that Built can run in the event that something happens with Journalism. And we pray that doesn't happen. We don't want anything to go wrong with any horses, right? In that scenario, though, if Built is removed, Neo Equus is a horse that's got some speed, but I don't know if they want to commit early on to be a part of that pace. They'll try to get that horse to stalk or to rate, and we'll see if that works out for them. I don't know. I'm not sold. There's a lot of bugs. All right, and from that, we get into our discussion about red flags and green arrows. And we already had a couple of horses where we're like, we don't want to mess with those horses, right? And then we've had some horses that we've been impressed with. So far, no red flags or green arrows in the workouts that were posted today or the videos that we've been able to take a look at. Everything kind of holding steady. So that is a look at where we stand now. 11 days to Kentucky Derby. Things starting to get kind of clear up, right? We're still waiting for one or two questions to be answered. Even if Built is in the body of the race, in my opinion, he does not impact this race at all, except to clutter things up when they turn for home. And that's about it. All right, that means that it's time for us to wrap it up. In the meantime, in between time, until next time here on Horse Race Bets, I'm Kenny Rudolph. We'll see you then. We'll get into the discussion about stalkers, the horses that we think legitimately want to sit just off the pace and then get the jump on the closers. That's coming up next time. In the meantime, good luck and enjoy whatever you're into.